You open your eyes. The smell of damp earth, straw, and smoke wakes you. No bed, just a mat of pressed papyrus on the floor. The walls around you are raw mud brick. A clay pot of water sits in the corner. No mirror, no clothes in a wardrobe, just a linen garment hanging on a wooden peg. You rise and wrap the shended, a piece of white linen around your waist. This is your only garment. You are an agricultural worker on the banks of the Nile.
Outside, the sun is still low. Your neighbor's family's already awake. You hear children and the sound of a fire being lit. Life here begins before dawn. You walk to the river. The Nile is full. It is flood season, called Akhet. The rich mud the water leaves behind is the only fertilizer you will ever use. You wash your face with river water and drink directly from it. No filters, no faucets. The Nile is your only source of water for drinking, cooking, and cleaning. Back home, your mother is preparing breakfast, barley bread baked in the ashes, and a bowl of thin beer. This is not a feast. It is the standard breakfast of every working Egyptian. The beer has low alcohol content, less than 3%. It is more nutritious than dangerous. Children drink it too. Unfermented Nile water can kill. You eat in silence. No long conversations. The sun does not wait. In 1 hour, you must already be in the fields.
Work begins at dawn. You and other workers gather in a wheat field on the Nile banks. The tools are simple: a flint sickle and a woven straw basket. You cut wheat with a stone sickle. The motion is repetitive. You will do this for hours. The sun will rise and become unbearable around noon. Part of what you harvest goes to the Pharaoh. That is the tax. Another portion goes to the local temple. That is the offering to the gods. What remains is yours.
At noon, work stops. The heat is merciless. Everyone gathers under the shade of a few palm trees and eats the midday meal. More bread, raw onions, and sometimes a dried Nile fish. Workers receive payment not in money. Money as we know it does not yet exist. You are paid in grain, beer, bread, oil, and linen. This is the wage. If you are injured at work, there are doctors. The Egyptians were among the first to practice medicine. But treatment is a mix of herbs, magic, and basic surgery. In the afternoon, there is a rest break. Some workers sleep. Others play senet, an Egyptian board game similar to backgammon. It is the main entertainment. You decide to explore the village. It has around 200 people. There's a simple market where exchanges happen, but not with money. A jar of beer can buy a basket of onions. You pass by the local temple. Only priests can enter the sacred part. Outside, you see offerings of fruits, flowers, and birds. The temple is also the village bank and granary. At dusk, you return home. The Nile changes color, turns orange, then purple. It is the most beautiful moment of the day. Egyptians believe the sunset is Ra descending to the underworld. Dinner is simple: cooked lentils, barley bread, and sometimes dates or figs as dessert. If the harvest was good, there may be roasted goose, but that is rare. After dinner, the family gathers. There's no television, but there are musicians. Music is central in Egyptian culture. Sometimes a neighbor comes to play harp or flute. You are not a slave. That is important to say. Most pyramid builders were paid or temporarily conscripted workers, not slaves. But your freedom has limits. You can be conscripted by the state to work on pyramids for months. It is mandatory. But you receive food, shelter, and medical care during that period. Your position in society depends on one thing: knowing how to read and write hieroglyphics. If you can, you could become a scribe, and that changes everything. Scribes do not work in the fields. But you cannot read, and without money to pay for scribe school, you will probably never learn. Social mobility exists, but it is rare and slow. Average life expectancy in ancient Egypt was 35 to 40 years. You are 24. Statistically, you are already halfway through your life. But death does not frighten Egyptians. They spend their entire lives preparing for it. What matters is the judgment of Osiris. Your heart will be weighed against the feather of Mot. If you lived honestly, worked well, honored the gods, and cared for your family, your soul passes. If not, the crocodile Amit devours it forever. You have no smartphone, no Netflix, no bank account, but you have community, purpose, and one of the most generous rivers in the world feeding your land. This was your life in ancient Egypt. Simple, hard, structured, and in a way, complete.